Good evening again, everyone, and welcome once again to Memorial Stadium for tonight's Big Red game between, of course, your Port Huron High Big Reds and the visiting Warren Cousino Patriots. Derek Wark, the Big D, back again for CPHS Channel 6, the Port Huron Area School District. Well, the Big Reds this year, first and foremost, they've got their star quarterback back in the lineup again. Indeed, the Black attack is back. Justin Black last year after 4 starts, he got hurt in the 4th game. They hope he's back for all 9 starts this season. Now, very talented guy. Again, we'll see if we can believe the hype with this guy. I believe so. This is not an overrated guy. They have high hopes for him, and rightfully so. Secondly, they've lost a couple of wideouts, Steve Sawyer and David Foster, to graduation. I mean, when the guy's nicknamed The Truth and he leaves, obviously that's a big loss. But Ryan Mullins has always replaced the skill players at the skill positions. We'll see if he can indeed do that again. Again, it's Warren Cousino in town. This is a good team. They're favored to win the MAC White this year. A lot of people don't realize that. We shall see if they do. They've got great size up front. 6'7", 6'4", 6'5". You get the idea. Line play is going to be big and heavy in this game tonight. Can the Big Reds overcome? Finally, Ben McCord has committed to Ball State. He's the big wideout on this team. They've got to somehow contain him. Will the Chapmans do it on the defensive back area? We'll see what happens there. That could be a very big key tonight. There you have it. Warren Cousino, the Big Reds. Derek Wark, the Big D, back in a minute. CPHS Channel 6. Game 1 for the Big Reds. George F. Will once said this about football. It incorporates the 2 worst elements of American society. Violence punctuated by committee meetings. But indeed, it's a one-of-a-kind sport, and that's why we love it. Tonight, Game 1 in the 2010 season for the Port Huron High Big Reds. And as always, they're expected to have a great season under the always successful head coach, Ryan Mullins. But how successful? That's the question. Well, tonight, Warren Cousino is in town, a highly rated Patriot team, as mentioned. So as far as measuring sticks go, I would think right off the bat, here's one. Are you ready, Big Reds? Are you ready, Big Red fans? Indeed, let's get nasty. Good evening, everyone. Again, Derek Wark, the Big D, with you here from Memorial Stadium for CPHS Channel 6, about to go right now with opening kickoff. Last night, a great win for the Port Huron Northern Huskies. They've done their part, 1-0. Can the Big Reds do their part to keep the Port Huron unbeaten streak alive? Here we go. Let's get nasty. Port Huron from the 20, quickly up 25, and hit hard and shaken down hard at the 31. 9 on the tackle, Dominic Schultz, and they expect big things from him this year, might I add, as well. Warren Cousino, the Patriots, again, favored to win the MAC White thus far, at least the Times Herald thinks so. 2-7 overall, 2-3 in the MAC White last season. 6 starters returned for them on both offense and defense. The Patriots are coached by Mike Powell, who apparently very excited about his junior class, and rightfully so. 1st and 10 as they get underway from the 34. 11:55 to go. We just started in the first. Man in motion here. Late snap. Bobbles the football early. They try to jump on it. Dominic Schultz does, but they get it back. Bit of luck there for Cousino as Drew McGuire just flopped on it, and very, very lucky. Loss of a ton to start play 1. Big Reds getting more out of that than they could certainly ask for. Well, it's a Patriot team that starts up front. I mean, 4 starters return on the offensive line and 3 on the defensive line, and they are big, and they're loaded with talent up front. So obviously it would benefit the Big Reds with more plays like that. The strength is said to be their senior leadership. Never hurts when you get the older kids in there. Loss of 10 even. 2nd and 20 from the 26. Again, the man in motion. Stops, starts. Good penetration, Big Reds, but the fake works. Gets 15 and more. Close to the first down. That's actually close to an 18-yard gain, close to the 44. And a QB keeper, Drew McGuire, with really too many yards on that one. And he, too, is a junior. Again, the offense led by two things. Lots of size up front and a tremendous wideout in Ben McCord. 6'3", 220. He's a senior. Lots of strength, they say. Great hands and committed to Ball State next season. That, folks, says it all. Third down and a big one from the 38. Big play early. Again, the man in motion. One back look this time. Straight up, straight down like a battering ram. That's a big guy, the fullback. 36 on the carry, Troy Cross. 6'1", 225. I guess so. First down, Cousino. Well, that offensive line expected to be dominant. 78, Kevin Denage. He's 6'7", 240. Yikes. Brad Baumgartner as well, 6'4", 255. He's 75. And Evan Kavanaugh, 6'4", 240. He's 72. Denage sometimes also lines up as a tight end. First and 10. Immediate give left side. Around left tackle, got a couple, maybe three, and that'll bring up second down. Well, the Big Reds and their defense, they expect a lot from this group. Certainly a lot of good junior talent throughout the team, really. Led by two excellent linebackers. Dominic Schultz, whom we've already heard from, almost recovered that fumble. And Mike LaForge, as good as they get. I thought he was excellent last season as a junior. LaForge returns as a senior. Defensive backs, 3 Winslow and 6 Jarrett Chapman among them. Second down, give to the right side. Avoiding one tackle, trying to push him forward, not much, maybe no gain. That's going to bring up third down. Among tacklers, speaking of them, Mike LaForge, 13. And Zach DeBuff was over there for the tackle as well. So another big third down play now for the Patriots as you see the cheerleaders for them across the field. Good crowd as you'd expect, Big Reds home opener. A tough schedule again for the Big Reds, as you'd expect. And again, the rivalry game comes in the second last week of October this year. A fake pitch. Got plenty of time. Going to air it out deep. This might be McCord, and overthrows him. And it is Ben McCord. Again, the highly touted wideout, but they overthrew him. That's 6 on the coverage, and we'll be watching that matchup all day long. Jarrett Chapman, 6 foot, 170, as opposed to 6'3", 210 in McCord. That he's got a guard. There you see him, top of the screen. Mr. Ball State, which is really an excellent compliment for a guy at this level. Cousino gonna punt here. Standing at about their 38. Back to return this one, I believe, is 6 Chapman. Stepping up to punt it at the 41. Gets a good one. Chapman waves it off. Look at this one. Inside the 10. Right at the 10. Well to the 10 or inside the 10, obviously, is what a punter aims for, and that's a good one. Out trots the Big Reds and their offense, and the highly touted quarterback, Justin Black. And it's good to have the Black attack back. 6-4 overall last season were the Big Reds, 3-2 in the MAC Blue. Lost out, of course, to Grosse Pointe North in the first round of the playoffs last year. Disappointing loss, and I always think they get kind of robbed with the matchups they get in round one year after year. That De La Salle year, I thought, was a little bit ridiculous considering they had, what, a 7-2 record, but that's why the Big D does not decide these things. A little late with the play call here. So first play offensively for the season for the Big Reds, and they've got to use a timeout. Well, we saw this last night with Stony Creek. And they used all their timeouts. Of course, I refer to the Huskies and the Stony Creek Cougars last night. Stony Creek used all their timeouts in the first 10 minutes of the game, of the first half. So, again, you want to keep them, but maybe some communication problems thus far for Coach Mullins and Justin Black. Well, the Big Reds this season, according to the Detroit Free Press, rated second in the MAC Blue. 5 starters returning on offense, 6 returning on defense. As always, said to be very strong at the skill positions. When they lose them, they always seem to replace them. A lot of talent also returning at receiver, And at cornerback, lots of depth to the outside. Certainly you like to see that. Offense, I've mentioned him already, led by highly rated QB number 7, Justin Black, just a junior. So they expect big things out of him, obviously, in his senior season. Hurt last year, we'll see how well he battles back from injury. They say he's healthy now, and he lines up from shotgun. The fake, QB keeper Black, tackled immediately. Don't know if he got a yard, if that. 28 popped him good, Israel Hicks. Wide out, number 3, Winslow Chapman. Mainly Alex Smolik, number 17. They'll lead the way outside as the main targets for Black this year. Smolik also might line up as a tight end. He's been doing that, certainly in his past. 2nd and 9 from the 12 now. To the outside, got a lot of daylight initially. They cat up to him. Not before a first down. Move the sticks to the outside for the Big Reds. Number 1 on the carry, Therese Watkins. Well, the offensive line up front for the Big Reds, apparently they just decided the starters here. Junior Kyle Moran, 51, starts at left tackle. 57 as well in there, Glenn Hartman. 54, senior Connor Palmatier. Junior Zach Pescini. And 79, Richard Drummond are the offensive line up front for the team in red. Off the first down carry, Black gets hit late. It's a fumble. They jump on the fumble and they have it at the 10. If it stands, Cousino thinks they have it. Well, they do. Tough break. And really, I thought at first they might consider calling something there because Black was hit without the football. And PH, I don't know what it is. They don't look sure of themselves on offense thus far. The one big run, of course, but again, they had to use a timeout. Costly turnover there. There you see, he just flopped on the football. And Cousino calls a timeout in their own right. So early break for the Patriots. Are they going to capitalize? We'll see if the Big Red D can help out the offense, struggling thus far. 7:46 to go, first quarter. No score from Memorial Stadium. Derek Work, the Big D, in CPHS, Channel 6. Well, mentioning, of course, that offensive line and the big man up front on that team, that's Warren Cousino. Kevin Donage is his name. 6'7", 240. 72, apparently a 3-year starter, and they play both lines, these big guys up front. So Coach Mullins even said before this game started this week, the key is going to be the line play. Who wins the battle up front? You got to think the edge with all that size goes to the team across the field, but you know, that's why you play the games. Great night at Memorial Stadium. Not necessarily a great football night, but not a cloud in the sky. And the hot sun teeming down right up here in the booth, right on the Big D. From the 10, first and goal from there. They send the man in motion again. Drew McGuire, immediate give. He's up, he's down, but not before a gain of 4 to close to the 5. 6 the carry, Max Amaye. So certainly a gift, that early turnover, and you don't want to give these strong Mac White teams any help than they already need. Talented enough. Watch McCord on the outside here, single coverage with Chapman. If he's all he's cracked up to be, he might see the ball here in a minute. They try going around the left end. Instead, they get over there pretty quickly. 14 makes the tackle, Taj King. And that brings up a very big third down. Again, 3rd and goal now. Fans still coming in on this Big Red side. As always, they fill it. And I always know when they score. I don't even need to watch the game to know they score. Very, very loud here. There's a guy down here with a blonde mohawk and checkerboard on his head. That's interesting. Well, this might be a false start. Play blown dead from the get-go. Flag over there right at the goal line. We'll see what this is all about, and I think it's going to be movement at the line. Cousino clapping. So it'll be replay a third down and half the distance. That brings up 3rd and goal now. From the half mark. Dove in, but again the offside first. So this is the kind of running play right here, even a quarterback sneak, where if you don't get penetration at the line, it doesn't matter what happens. They're going to get in here. 3rd and goal from the half. 6:19 to go first quarter. Dives forward and very close. No signal yet. He might be down. Now they say touchdown after looking at it again. Warren Cousino off the Merry Christmas turnover. They get 6. Certainly not the defense's fault. I mean, you give a team 1st and goal from the 10. You're asking for it. The Patriots strike first. 6-0. Extra point try attempted by Andrew Bush. And 5 holding Kriska. It's a fake right away. Big Red's going to jump on this one anyway. And well, they call it a false start, actually. Legal procedure. Initial call was false start. That was interesting. An interesting early fake, but you tend to see fakes when they do happen early in the year like this. That's not a play that you attempt on week 9 if you're unsure of yourself. So there you see Coach Mullins and the rest of the Big Reds. Again, they lost a lot of talent to graduation, as they do every year. This backs him up. It's now become a 25-yard extra point try. It's placed down, it's up, partially blocked, and he missed. So with 6:10 to go, left in the first quarter, there you see 6-0. Warren Cousino Patriots on top of your Port Huron High Big Reds. And I say it's a gift because let's face it, an early gift. That's 6 points gift wrapped right there with a red bow. How about that? 6-0. Again, though, it could be pre-game jitters. I mean, they're not used to this sort of thing. I mean, you get all winter to think about it. Certainly Justin Black, I would think, eager to prove himself too, coming off the injury and all the rest from last season, and never really got back into the flow. He came back for week 9, of course. I should also add, Jared Chapman a season ago did a great job in the backup quarterback role. Without him, they weren't even in a playoff position a season ago, so he did a great job. And it'll be interesting to see, knowing Chapman, such a good backup quarterback a season ago, how are they going to incorporate his talent and speed into the offense this season, knowing he won't be lined up behind center for most of the time. That goal is going to go to Black, of course, this season. So, but I would think Black's got, a nice opportunity this season to finally prove himself. Again, came for week 9. Week 10, a tough one last year. They got blown out, so Cousino to kick this one back to the Big Reds after their gift touchdown to make it 6-0 and missed extra point. Big Reds just need to settle down. Obviously just a one-possession game. Still early going. 6:10 to go in the first. And as they shout, yeah, let's go. Let's get nasty again, Port Huron. Kickoff Cousino. Taken 25-yard line, quickly up 30 and brought down right at the 35, maybe 34. Kick returning King Thomason. Well, we'll see now if they've adjusted and see if they look more sure of themselves this trip now on offense. Again, CPHS, Port Huron Area School District, happy to be bringing this one to you tonight. And back-to-back nights, we don't see that too often. Starts on a Thursday, Big Reds on a Friday. Of course, the Huskies big-time winners last night, 23-13, and they look great doing it. So hopefully the Big Reds here can repeat that one. 1st and 10 from the 31. Back to pass. Black shotgun. I think they called that one offside. And the play is blown dead. And it is. It looked like the wideout nearest this sideline moved. Looked like he jumped. And Coach Mullins has to be a little bit frustrated, I would think, with how this one's begun. A forced timeout, a turnover, couple of offsides. So they've got to get their act together in a big way, of course. A difficult team, really, to schedule a Week 1 game against. Again, a bit of a measuring stick in the early going for them. The only way to get better is against good competition, no doubt about that. It'll be 1st and 15 from the 26 when play resumes. Officials still discussing their last penalty call. Well, in 2006 and 07, this Cousino team had a whopping 22 total victories in the 2 years. When you consider that fact, and the fact that each regular season has 9 games in it, and they played 22, got 22 total victories, that's a real impressive number. And obviously they'd like to get back to where they once were, but that's awesome. 2-7 and 3-6 the last 2 years, though. Black to pass on 1st and 15, airing it out, deep sidelines. Chapman trying to get a call, backed into the man, number 6, Maximai. Well, it's a good arm from Black. That's one of those outside post patterns, and they're tough to run. Because not only does your defender, in that case, defend him in front of the receiver, but he can also kind of play the out-of-bounds line. 2nd and 15 from the 26. Black to pass again. Looking outside, caught this time in the flat. Good block. All kinds of yardage. They're calling a penalty. That one's coming back. If they call a block in the back, I agree with the fan down here who just yelled that that was not a block in the back. That's what they're going to call, though. Well, let's see if we can get a replay on that one, because I think that's fishy. I really do. That really is a game changer, because that's a gain of 20 brought back. And really, you can see where they made the block, because the guy that was blocked was falling down. So he was actually down on his knees when they blocked him. But as far as I saw, it was from the front, unless, of course, the reason he fell down, somebody pushed him from behind, which I didn't see. From the 19, 2nd and 25. Again, 5:09 to go in the first. Warren Cousino 6, Big Reds nothing. Late instructions again here from Coach Mullins to Black. Again, 4 wide look, 1 back set. 3 far side and 1 near. 2nd and 25. Black again, looking left side this time, airing it out deep. In and out of the hands of 3, Ben McCord. I think he was so shocked that he had the chance at it in the first place that he dropped it. And you also have a habit in that kind of a situation to kind of look up ahead of the ball, and he might have done that there. Here you see the replay of the last one. In and out of his hands. That's frustrating, isn't it? So Big Red so far very quiet offensively. 3rd and 25. Penalties will do that to you. Again from the 19. 5:03 to go in the first. Black back to pass. Looking left side again. Tries to air it out. Gets away from the pressure. Still going. Caught to the outside, but he's got a lot to go here. Is he going to get it? Spin move. He got it. 50, 45. Look out to the 40. Out of bounds. 39. Great job, Mark Chapman. Everywhere you look on this football field, there's a Chapman of some kind. And that play was all Justin Black to avoid the pass rush, to get out there, and the man covering 10 left 10. Basically, he's the only guy he's got to throw to here. That's just a good job. Look at him wide open, and I wondered if he could get the necessary yardage, and a great spin move right there. Mark Chapman, that's a great job. So the Big Reds, finally in business. 1st and 10 from the 39. Black looking this way this time, late pressure. They're all over him. He's got to eat the sack this time. A loss of a ton. All the way back to the Big Red 45. Loss of at least 15. Corey Denage. 18 there. Smart by Black to eat the sack. Sometimes you just have to. No getting around it. Well, Coach Mullins claimed this week that this game is the most important on the schedule, he feels. Cousino, a great team, predicted to win the MAC White, mostly because of their speed and size. So Big Reds certainly know the importance of it. 2nd and 25 again. Black on air this one out. It's single coverage to the outside. Chapman. He caught it, yes. That is a fine example of great hands because he was covered. This is not a matter of positioning. This is just a great job catching the football. And the concentration you have to make that catch in the first place. Here's the replay. Not a bad pass at all. He's got a good arm, this Black. Oh, that's outstanding. The only thing was, is he going to stay in bounce? This one's a gain of 5. Kind of bounced off tackle like a battering ram did 9. Dominic Schultz. He's really grown, Schultz. 6'1", 205 now. From what I can remember, he was a lot smaller last year, but obviously when you're a senior, you get bigger, and Big Reds always have talented seniors every year, no doubt about that. 2nd down and 7 after a gain of 3. Looks like a short 7 to me. Black from shotgun again, primarily in that look. Handoff, no, it's a fake. Instead, Black to the outside, inside the 5 to the 4. It's basically you run the same play look, you just fake it this time. Any QB keeper to the outside. First and goal from the 4. Here we go. Big Reds to try and tie the football game. And all of a sudden that missed extra point by Cousino a minute ago. That really looks big. Man, that sun is hot tonight. There's the Cousino cheerleaders. I'm sure they'd agree. First and goal from the 4. Black to the outside. Thinking about it. Over the middle. Caught. Touchdown. Big Reds. Right in the hands of Tyler Robotham. That, folks, was as convincing a drive as you will see a football team at Memorial Stadium make, because you cannot fault the defense. They just earned it. Again, that Chapman catch to set it up, fabulous. You can't do anything defensively when you're going to make a catch like that. Extra point try after the touchdown. Robotham got it. It's up, and it's through. Well, this is the kind of offense that they expect year after year here, and certainly with a quarterback like they've got, they can make it happen. You see how he's not scared either to get out of the pocket. He waited until the last second. That's a great job. Great presence of mind, wide open man. And you know what's hard about the timing of when you're going to throw that football is because the pressure is coming completely from the blind side. Not always easy to pick up. So there you have it. You got to love it, Port Huron. 2:28 to go, first quarter. 7-6, Big Reds on top. Derek Warwick, the Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. Some tremendous plays, really, to watch on that drive. But much of that earned basically by their quarterback, Justin Black, getting away from the pressure and finding the open man. But not only were those guys wide open on this drive, they were way wide open. And you credit Black for that. Kicking this one off, Donald Rock, converted quarterback. Just a little guy. He's the kicker. Just booted one through. Now he's got to boot one on the kickoff. Here we go. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. Donald Rock, the kick. Taken at the 12-yard line, up quickly, 15, 20. Slips, falls 18, and now quickly up to the 27, where he makes a spin move, might have got an extra yard to the 28. I believe 27, David Margluski on the kick return. Might have been 5, Ryan Kriska as well. So certainly this game has all the makings of very similar to last night. A back and forth game, who wants it more? There's a lot of talent in that football field right now, I'll tell you. So Drew McGuire brings his squad back out. The man in motion. Immediate give. Thinks about the option. Now quarterback keeper. And he's brought down after a gain of maybe 2. And who got him? Guess who? Mike LaForge. Well, I'll get used to saying his name this season. If you get used to listening for it, because you will, believe me. Both the LaForges last year, I thought, great talents, and certainly Mike LaForge, an excellent linebacker, makes a ton of tackles, and he's aggressive. Well, they call that 4 on that. That's kind of a generous mark, I think, but 2nd and 6 nonetheless. Off 2nd down, they try the end around, but they're waiting for him, and they crush him right away. A whole horde of Big Reds waiting for him. 32 among them. We don't have his name down, so we'll call him the ever-popular Mr. X. Well, there might have been 23 in there as well, Julian Brown. Either way, there you see. 1:06 to go in the first. 7-6. Big Reds on top. And a very exciting first quarter that's gone back and forth. You take away the gift, though, that Cousino got. They haven't really moved the ball that well. 3rd down now and 4 to the outside. Almost picked off. And he made sure he made the tackle. Winslow Chapman. But not before a 1st down for Ryan Kriska on the completion. See, when you want to be a defensive back and you're covering that close and you go for the ball, you've got to make sure you stay with him and make the tackle, because you can never assume that you have safety help. Final 45 seconds of the first. Again, 7-6, Big Reds on top. A back and forth first quarter, exactly how I like it. Big Reds, lots of movement on the defensive line. The snap, barely got it off. Not a very pleasant exchange there. They still did get a yard, and I really don't know how. 2nd down and 9. Well, this booth, I'm willing to bet anybody that this is the hottest area in the whole stadium, this booth where I'm sitting. And the coordinators of the Big Reds next door to me, I'm sure they'll agree. It's boiling in here. Once that sun goes down, it drops about 10 degrees in this booth. On top of that, I can't see anything at the moment because of the sun, but what I have seen I've liked so far out of the Big Reds, who actually did start slow offensively. A penalty, a forced timeout, a turnover. That's going to be the end of the first quarter for Memorial Stadium. We're after 1. So far, so good for the Big Reds. They just want to win, and they've got them thus far 7-6 after 1 complete. Derek Work, the Big D. CPHS Channel 6 from Memorial Stadium. Back with the second in a moment. this is not CSI Las Vegas, but they're playing the Who's Who Are You anyway. The great Port Huron High marching band, happy that their Big Reds a 7-6 lead after one quarter complete from Memorial Stadium. Again, Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS, Channel 6, the Port Huron Area School District television station. Cousino thinks that this is their breakthrough season after being 2-7 and 3-6 the last two. One of the favorites to win the MAC White, and you'd think that if the Big Reds could win this game, sky's the limit. And so far, so good. And as mentioned, really, what has Cousino done besides capitalizing on that turnover? They've moved the ball a little bit, but Big Red's doing their best to keep them in check. And I know it's early. I know it's only one quarter of this game, and we saw 4 quarters of the game the Huskies won last night, but I jumped the gun because I like to think ahead. That rivalry game, for a change, looks like it's going to be a real good one because Huskies have opened up their offense on the other side of the city. And it looked good last night. I don't know about quite as good as this one. Again, it takes time when you go from something like the veer option or whatever it was they ran into more of a run and gun spread look like they had last night. Very similar to what the Big Reds do. And head coach Pat Connell got his first ever win in his first ever game, so certainly congratulations to him. Back to this one, 2nd and 8 from the 44. The crowd wanted to hold. First pass completion to the big Ben McCord. Mr. Ball State himself got 13 and a first down. Well, the crowd wanted to hold, I believe, on the center. Checked out the right guard, and it looked pretty close, I gotta say. I think he held 17, in fact, too, Alex Molick there, so. From the 45, 1st and 10. The Big Red 45, that is, as you see. That gives you an idea, the Big Red side and all the people. They love the team in red. From the 45, 1st and 10. This time, pass to the running back on the run. Downed immediately. That's a great open field tackle by 3. Winslow Chapman. Well, this team is filled with Chapmans for a reason. They can all play, and they're excellent. How many of them are there? Everywhere you look, it seems there's one of them. There's a Mark Chapman, a Jarrett, a Winslow, and again, they can all play. Huge play earlier from Mark Chapman on the reception there earlier. And he's just a sophomore, so there you have it. More talent for the Big Reds. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Tripped up on the snap. Big Reds will take that, thank you very much. 3rd and long now. Well, again, Coach Mullen said that the winning team tonight he expected would be the team that wins the battle up front, as it is in most games, but when you're facing a team of this size on each line, and you can maybe win that battle, well, obviously easier said than done, but I agree with him. The winner will be up front. Huge play right here for the Big Red D. 3rd and 12. Ball marked 48 with 10 and 35 ticks to go in the second. And the Big Reds a 7-6 lead. Well, they got 5 wide here. They do. Empty backfield. Airing it out deep. Down the sidelines, and it's overthrown. Intended receiver again, Ben McCord. And the Big Reds hold again. So far, I really like the defensive backs for Port Huron and how they're defending in this game. What an advantage for a defense when you have shut down corners because you worry less about helping them. And you have the thought that you can take away a side of a field when you have guys that can cover you like a magnet. So far, so good in that area for the Big Reds. The punt from the 40. It's a high punt. Chapman doesn't even touch it again. Takes a good Big Red bounce. Cousino going to down it right at the 30. 20 downed it. Ellis Smith. Good thing he did too. In their case, that was rolling with the momentum of the Big Reds. There's a gentleman that is here every year. Don't know his name, but he certainly looks familiar. There's the basketball coach for Northern, Coach Jameson. Nice to see him out tonight. He had to be pleased with that game last night, too. There you see the score. 7-6 PH over Cousino. So the Justin Black attack is back out there on the field again. Very successful their last trip. And here they go again. 4 wide look again. They love this set. Immediate give, not buying it. Pushed back and a loss of 2. 78 was over there. Kevin Denage among tacklers for the Patriots. So third down now and 11. They say 11, looks like a long 11 at that. So far the pass has worked. You got to expect another, maybe something over the middle this time. We'll see. Black on the rollout again. Here comes the late pressure from the blind side again. Looking. Caught, but nowhere near enough. Out of bounds 34, but that's still going to be fourth down. 17 over there, Alex Schmolik. Well, now they're saying third down. Okay. Looking over there at the chains down there. They had third down a minute ago and making me think it'd be fourth down. I thought that was a little premature, but I wasn't going to say nothing. Here we go, though. Third down and 5 officially now for the Big Reds. Empty backfield. We saw this a moment ago with Cousino. Now the Big Reds doing it. Pass out in the flat. Look out. Well, smart by Cousino to go after that football. If it's behind him, it's a live ball, right? An incompletion. And that was defended very, very well. 9:18 to go in the second. Again, CPHS Channel 6. Derek Wark, the Big D. Happy that the Big Reds have a 7-6 lead at this point anyway. Is that the Ox in the booth over my back? It is. There he is, the Ox. Where were you last night, Ox? But he's got a Michigan shirt on anyway. Good start so far. Nice to see Black back in the mix. Pass happy. I like to see that. Very exciting offense. Off the punt now. On fourth down, it is dropped. Big Reds try to jump on it, but Cousino's going to get it back, and lucky for them that they do. Interestingly enough, last season, and this, as I looked at this stat, I got to thinking last year and the 10 games, but really, it's an unbelievable stat. The Big Reds scored 251 total points on offense last year. They gave up 250 for a +1. Do you believe that? Talk about even keel with the competition. From the 34, first and 10, immediate give. Look out. He's past the secondary. Running on an angle to get him is Chapman. Gets blocked, and finally they're there to down him, but not before a huge, huge gain for Cousino. Well, hold on a sec. Flag on the play, and that's against the Patriots. Well, Big Reds will certainly take that. After a huge run, is going to be nullified. 6, Maxime on the carry. Here you see it. Just got past everybody. Smart move there by Chapman to number 3. See how he runs immediately on an angle? He's predicting where Amay's going to end up, not where he is. So they're penalized from the spot of the foul. Still enough for a first down. So right at midfield now, first and 10 from there. 8:59 to go in the second. Big Red still clinging to the 7-6 lead, but again, barely. Right when I say they're not moving the ball, Cousino's starting to. Look at him bounce off tackle. Boom, boom, boom. Well, he's a big boy. 36, Troy Cross. I said it earlier, 6'1", 230. And he just busted upfield for a first down. Another example how if you're a big man, you keep your feet moving. You just more or less are a battering ram going forward. There's no moves here. Look, boom, boom, boom. And he just keeps the feet moving. While the Big Reds tried to strip him for starters. It didn't work. From the 38, 1st and 10. Cross again, but he dropped the ball, picked up by Cousino in 6. Look what I found. Johnny on the spot, Corey Danage. Well, you got to have breaks to be good. There's no doubt about it. Both touchdowns really are gifts, you can say now. That one, Cross, who they did strip this time. And the fumble recovery right in the hands of, I believe, 8, Andrew Bush, and he took it the yard, the distance, and there you go. 12-7 now. They're going to try the extra point. Be interesting to see maybe if they would have faked this one to try and get up an even 7, but they don't. Instead, they're going to just kick it. Place down, kick up, and through. So with 8:26 to go in the first half. 13-7, Warren Cousino on top of your Port Huron High Big Reds. Again, Derek Work, the Big D. Well, the Port Huron schedule, a tough one as it always is, let's face it. Tonight, obviously, Cousino in town. Next week, they're at Sterling Heights. A very weird schedule this year. It's set up so that the Northern Huskies play their first 4 games at home. Kind of strange. You certainly don't see that every year. And a lot of games this year with back-to-backers. Huskies and then Big Reds like we have had this week on the Thursday and Friday. Anyway, they're at Sterling Heights next week. The week after that, Anchor Bay is in town. Then they're at Eisenhower, followed by at Clintondale. Home to Lance Cruz, at Grosse Pointe South. Then the big rivalry game at Port Huron. That one, keep in mind, is October 15th this season. And Madison High School comes to town on October the 22nd. Cousino to kick off. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. Straight into the hands at the 15, now the 25, quickly up 35 and down 41. For Montez Jackson with a good kick return. So that's not too bad, and out trots Black and company again for the Big Reds. Well, so far, it looks like the Big Reds are really going to rely heavily on the pass. Pretty obvious, but of course with great running backs in Taddy and even Mark Titus last year, they could run her a little bit. This season so far, it looks mostly like it's going to be a pass-happy offense. I like that style offense, though, of course. It's exciting football, and certainly when you have a guy like Black that can get these guys the ball, why not? From the 41, 1st and 10. Black cuts up field, and he gets 13 and a first down. 18, Corey Deny on the tackle that time. So important, especially with the way football's going nowadays, that you have a quarterback that does both run and pass, and here's one that does. He found the seam, and he just cut it. There's Kurt Cobain. Wait a minute, is it? He's got his head buried in the, well, I don't know. He had it in the camera for a second there. From the 47, 1st and 10. Late pressure, airing it out to Smolik. Did he have his foot in bounds? They're saying no, but let me tell you something. That is very, very close. We got to get a replay of that one. Because it's 1 foot and his toe. How close to the edge of that white line was it? That's real close. Great effort, Alex Smolik. If it's maybe, I'm talking inches. Inches more to the right, he makes the catch. Well, they say incomplete, and that's all that counts. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 47 now. Wideouts grouped together. There you see it, and he is out of bounds because you see the white coming up with the toe. Great work down there, big fella in the truck, E.J. Shea, to get us that replay. Also, the Bloodhound up on the roof doing the instant replay camera. There you see. Okay, you see how he kicked up white? If he doesn't kick up white, you may have me believe in it, but nah, that's the right call. I don't necessarily know if the ref was even watching that area, but as it turns out, that's the right call. What's this, super duper slow-mo? In cut screen? Well, they cut that. Got a nice new monitor up here in the booth for me. Don't rush technology, boys. Let it come to you. 2nd down and 15 from the 48. Big Red Zone 48. Trying to continue an offense that moves the football. Airing this one out deep again to Smolik again. Caught out of bounds. They're saying at the 15. That to me should be closer to the 10. But he caught it anyway. Who cares? 1st down, Big Reds. And that's the catch right there that we just saw in the super duper slow-mo. It's funny to even watch this. It really is. That's pretty cool, big fella down there. Oh, they cut it right before he touched. But again, when you kick up white, it's pretty hard to argue against it. So that's pretty neat, though, I got to admit. Oh, the new technology of CPHS. Back to pass on 1st and 10. Black again to the outside. Look out with that pass. When you see double coverage out there, and obviously the amount of time it takes to make that pass in the first place to get it out that way, and you see a defensive back jump on the ball like that, you hold your breath. You really do, because if he catches that, who's going to make that tackle? And you heard some fans down here, believe me, go, oh no. But all's well. It looks like they actually called that, what did they call it, complete? 2nd and 10 from the 15 nonetheless. 7.5 to go in the second. 13-7, Big Reds driving again. Goodness, by the way this game's going, Black will have about, 40 pass attempts by the time it's said and done? The give to number 9, Dominic Schultz. Minimal gain. That'll bring up 3rd down. And it just goes to show you how blessed the Big Reds were all these seasons with, and I'll say it because he was great, with the great Chris Taddy years ago and Mark Titus last year, a good back. It shows you because right now it looks like they've got a bit of a problem in the running game. Cousino calls timeout. Certainly a very big 3rd down play coming here in a moment. 7:03 to go in the first half. 13-7, Cousino on top of your Big Reds, but the Big Reds are driving inside the red zone, so we'll see. Again, this is Derek Wark, the Big D, CPHS Channel 6, the Port Huron Area School District television station. All request days, still on Fridays. Call the boys up, Ed Sinek, the big fella by the phone, E.J. Shea. Tell him, hey, I want to see the Big D again. They'll replay the football games again for you on All Request Fridays. That's part of the lineup on CPHS Channel 6 at 810-984-6621. Well, the sun has finally gone down, so lucky me, I get to turn on the light up here in the booth finally. And like I said, it's a 10-degree drop when that happens, so I'm glad for it. Here we go. Again, late instructions being shouted out from Mullins to Black. Black's been great so far in this game. Trying to get 10 more yards here. Can he get it? Back to pass over the middle. And I don't really know who that was intended for. 8 cut across Robotham with 17 Smolik. And I don't know, did they deflect it from one another there? 4th down, it'll be interesting to see what they do here. Do they think Rock can make this field goal, or do they just go for it? Certainly the field position for Cousino won't be great. They will have plenty of time at 7 minutes, and they do have one timeout. Big Reds, by the way, if you're wondering, 2 timeouts. So a huge play here at 4th and 10 from the 15. They figure either way they win with field position here. Let's see. Black outside, airs it out and out of bounds. So Cousino holds. Pretty good pass defense on the whole from them tonight. Again, the touchdown drive for the Big Reds, it took some great catches on the drive to move the chains, and really 2 or 3 big plays. Other than that, and Warren Cousino's been defending the pass excellent so far in this game. And mark my words, they're going to have to keep doing it, because I don't see that Big Red pass quitting anytime soon, that's for sure. Well, now the Big Reds are going to ask their defense to hold. First and 10 at the 15. They send the man in motion again. Immediate give. No, instead it's a fake. Brought down immediately. Got maybe 2, if that. 11 among tacklers over there. Zachary DeBuff for the Big Reds. And Smolik as well was in on it. Well, they call it 1 yard. Well, it'll be a short 2nd and 9 here, believe me. There you see a very good crowd on hand, and that shows you a lot of people sitting not in the stands tonight, just in their lawn chairs and by the trees and everything. So when the Big Reds play here, it fills up. There's no doubt about that on this side, for sure. The 2nd down carry, fighting hard for yards, got 2 more, but that's it. And it'll bring up 3rd and about 5. Well, you don't run that play there unless you feel that you are pretty confident in your team getting the 3rd down completion. Because that's just a basic running play there, just another power up the gut kind of thing, which, needless to say, has worked for them, minus the Troy Cross fumble that they got back on the touchdown a minute ago. Other than that, with Cross up the middle, it's worked so far. 3rd and 6 from the 20. It's a fake. Now it's an option pitch. Gets to the outside and close to a 1st down, and they're going to say he's got it. That play there is determined by one thing: how fast the linebacker can get to the back. They're not quick enough, as it seems, and a 1st down for Warren Cousino. Cheerleaders just kind of standing there at the moment. You'd think they have more to cheer for than that. Look at one sitting down even. Is that allowed? I don't know. 5:12 to go in this first half of play in 2nd quarter. 13-7, Cousino on top, and they're driving now. To pass again, airing this one out deep. McCord tries the one-hand catch, can't make it. And so far, this verbal commitment to Ball State, this Ben McCord here, has been covered very well by the Big Reds. Obviously, they did their homework on this guy, and so far, other than I think 1 reception, mostly a non-factor. Second down and 10. Ball mark 26. Late check-ins for Cousino. There you see some of the crowd, some of the faithful. Coach Jamison down there throwing some passes. Couldn't really see what kind of a tight spiral it was, if it was one. Don't even know if he played back in the day. Maybe I'll have to ask him next time I see him. Anyway, 2nd and 10 from the 26. Here's that cross again. Boom. I tell you, when you get a big guy like that and you're in a one-on-one situation, you know you're going to get popped when you try and make the tackle. But a good job of the Big Reds to stay with them, and they certainly like to use this big battering ram, this Troy Cross, in their offense. Here you see the replay of it. Yeah, he's just lined up right behind the quarterback there, moves And the offensive backfield more to the side, then he gets the pass, and pretty good gain, really. Gets it again, but he doesn't have it this time. If the mark is correct, and I think it is, it's going to bring up fourth down. And knowing that Cross has been so good at this short yardage game, it brings up an interesting decision for the head coach, Mike Powell of Cousino, because this is a bit of a risk with the field position. They're going to go for it, though. And we have a timeout on the field. Whether or not Coach Mullins just wants Cousino to think about this one, or if he's setting up a play for his Big Red D, this is a very, very big play coming up next. 3:51 to go, first half. 13-7. The Warren Cousino Patriots from the Mac White have come into town, and so far they're up one possession. Over here, Port Huron High Big Reds. Again, it's Derek Wark. Again, it's Big D here tonight, and happy to be along. Early season so far. Still August. Usually I can say game 2 played in week 2, not this year. Strangely enough, both week 1 and week 2 games played in week 1, and even what would normally just be the week 2 game next week again, double headers this year, and even a game on Saturday. So certainly it's a different schedule than what we're used to, but of course the folks at CPHS, we're up to it. Fourth down and 1 from the 35. Is Cross going to get the ball? He does. Battling forward, look out, he dropped the football. I think the Big Reds have it. They've jumped on it. We'll wait and see. Boy, this would be a big plus. That's the second time that Cross has dropped the football. They think they've got it. 79 for the Big Reds. Richard Drummond pointing that way. Cousino still has the football, and I don't know how. Was it Chapman who jumped on it? Because it looked like from the initial pile that formed, he was the first to jump on that ball. That is yet another break for the Patriots. Twice they fumbled. Once ended up being a touchdown on the fumble. They just got the fumbled ball and ran in with it. This play here, and both fumbles, fumbled by Cross. So as much as they like him from the fullback position, he's dropping the ball a little bit here. First and 10, 41, back to pass again. Drew McGuire ready to air it out. No, instead of QB keeper to the outside, they've got flags all over the field. This is coming back. The crowd certainly wanted it. The flags were thrown late. But there's finally a break for the Big Reds. This is going to be a holding against Warren Cousino. And you always wonder about holding when you see a play like that. Because first and foremost, the quarterback's got all day to decide what he wants to do with it. And then when he just magically takes off by foot after waiting, 5 seconds, you get the idea. Got to be some kind of a hold. Unless you're the typical pessimist that says there's a hold on every play, Big D. It's a matter if they call it or not. Final 3:13, first half. Again, both teams with one timeout. It's about that time where Cousino's got to start thinking of the clock here and their one timeout. First down and 20 from the 31. To pass again as McGuire steps up, wide open man, caught at the 45, hammered down 42 by Chapman, not before 28, Israel Hicks. Gain of 20. And 20 plus actually, moving the sticks. Obviously they left the middle open there. This McGuire, good-looking young quarterback too as well. Yeah, wide open, nobody in front of him. From the 42, first and 10. Play fake to Cross. Great spin move to avoid the first tackle. Down again is McGuire, not before a gain of 4. And Winslow Chapman as well, small, on the tackle. So this has been quite a long drive in terms of time of possession here, and certainly at this point, time of possession favors Cousino in a big way. 2.5 to go in the first half. 2nd and 6 now. There's one of our new camera, usually I say men, camera ladies. From the 42, they air this one out. Deep sideline, almost picked off by Chapman, who had excellent position again. I believe that was Cecilia Gallio on the cam, flashing the shades. They've told me for years, Big D, it's all about looking good here at Channel 6. Well, the camera guys and girls now try and do just that. And the ghosts down there in the truck do too, but we don't see them anyway down there. Ed Sinek, EJ Shea, the big fella down there. Got 4 wideouts crumpled together over there on the far side and 1 near side. They're singling out for Ben McCord. Now it's 3rd and 6, 37. Pass, wide open again, 25. Almost took his head off to the 20 and 19. Cross again. Well, they're using this fullback, 36, to his size and his ability to not be tackled and to bounce off tackle. And why not? Besides some fumbles that they've got back both times, he's just a guy that rumbles down to get yardage. And there you see, wide open. From the 20 now, 1st and 10. Option, instead the fake pitch, brought down immediately, got 2. Schultz over there among tacklers. Also, 89 Jordan Small, who might I add is anything but small. 6'7", 195. Should be Jordan Tall, but nope. Jordan Small, and he's had a good first half defensively. 1:25 left first half. Big Reds need some kind of a stop or maybe even a turnover to get them back for the 2 fumbles that they should have lost and didn't earlier. Cross again trying to rumble forward. Finally, they hit him and push him back. Winslow Chapman the tackle. So really it's been a back and forth first half for the most part, except for this final drive of it by Cousino here. And really this drive has ate up a lot of clock primarily because of, again, this big fullback, this number 36 cross. 3rd and 5 from the 15, final 42 seconds. The clock has to come into play here. McGuire is going to get sacked in a big way and pushed back. Tried to make something out of it, but no can do. That's a sack for the Big Reds. Zmolik over there, Chapman again, and LaForge. So now it's 4th and 9. Clock continues to tick. Final 12 seconds, now 11. They're pretty calm about this. Well, I think they're just going to call a timeout here and try a field goal. Going to be a long field goal for this level, but they're going to try it. And they call their final timeout. So they're going to bring this one out. And it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a 36-yard field goal. The holder is going to be Andrew Bush. And again, number 5, Ryan Kriska. The Port Huron Big Red Marching Band getting ready for their halftime show. And this will be the last play here of the first half. So it's a matter of either 13-7 or 16-7 at halftime. Big Reds one convincing drive in the first half, if you're wondering. A real exciting drive, but since then, in terms of clock and ball control, it's been pretty well all Warren Cousino. And Big Red momentum, especially for that defense going into halftime. This is big. They've got to somehow prevent this from going through the uprights, you'd think. And it is right on 36. I got them mixed up, by the way. Kriska the holder. 8 Andrew Bush from 36 out. Snap placed down, it's up and a flag. He did get it through. Look out, Band over there. Take the top off the tuba. Well, it's a legal procedure, so the 36 has become a 41. He had plenty of leg on that, and that's scary that he did. And they've got no choice. You don't punt it regardless because the time's going to be up anyway, so you got to just keep him out there to kick it again, despite the 5 yards. You don't see too many field goals at this level from this far out. This is now 41 yards. 0 is on the clock, so this is it for the half. Andrew Bush from 41. And he's going to be wide left, it looks like. This time it is wide left. The Big Reds hold. This is exactly the momentum they need going into halftime. Still down 1 possession, and that, folks, is all that counts. Derek Wark, the Big D, CPHS Channel 6, again. Visiting Warren Cousino, 13, your Big Red 7 at half. For CPHS Channel 6, back in the third after the Big Red Marching Band does their thing.
And gentlemen, the students of the band have devoted many hours to rehearsals, practices, and sectionals. It gives us great pleasure to acknowledge our seniors who have shown dedication and devotion to the Big Red Marching Machine during the past 4 years. We would like especially to thank those who make it possible, our families who take us to and from rehearsals and cheer us on at the games. At this time, we'd like to introduce our senior students and their parents. Our senior drum major, Nicole Corbin, escorted by John and Maria Miller. Senior assistant drum major, Colin Keister, escorted by David Kim Kester. Jenna Bailey, escorted by John and Kelly Bailey. Keenan Beals, escorted by Carl and Marilyn Beals. Dan Boyd and German exchange student Friedrich Kraus, escorted by Martin and Colleen Boyd. Sarah Cook, escorted by Joseph and Mary Cook. Zach Ellis, escorted by Toby Ellis. Kyle Falk, escorted by Kevin and Veronica Falk. Molly Ford, escorted by Mark and Trish Ford. Aaron Forster, escorted by Dave and Ann Forster. Nathan Gans, escorted by Dan and Ann Marie Gans. Stephanie Groton, escorted by Jeff and Denise Groton. Katie Jasiuk, escorted by Alex and Trish Jasiuk and Larry and Kayleen Wilson. Sydney Jones, escorted by Matt and Paulette Jones. Kristen Kinney, escorted by Bob and Chris Kinney. Jamie Kepke, escorted by Jim and Dorothy Kepke. Patricia Caroli, escorted by Steve and Gail Caroli. Emily Ledbetter, escorted by Denise Ledbetter and brother Zach. Joshua Loshaw, escorted by Tom and Wendy Loshaw. Lena Liu, escorted by Tanya Liu. Jeff McCumber, escorted by Sue McCumber. Lindsay Miller, escorted by Troy and Cindy Miller. Nathan Brosick, escorted by John and Kathleen Brosick. Jesse Peart, escorted by Leanne Peart. Ethan Reno, escorted by John and Denise Reno. Miguel Rodriguez, escorted by Philippe and Isabel Rodriguez. Adam Rogers, escorted by Roy and Donna Rogers. John Russ, escorted by Bob and Beth Noble. Misty Sanders, escorted by Christy Keeley. Andy Chenevere, escorted by Brian and Debbie Chenevere. Kim Zulke, escorted by Mike and Melissa Main. And last but certainly not least, our Thunderbird Shanice Hill, escorted by Tanya Pettit and Marlon Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2010 Big Red Marching Machine seniors and their escorts. Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, we present the 190-member Big Red Marching Machine under the direction of Daniel J. Griffith. This year we honor one of the great Motown legends, Stevie Wonder. Our show opens with the 1970 classic Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours, and features Kristen Kenny on trumpet. Drum majors Nicole Corbin, Leanne Lum, and Colin Kester. Is your band ready to take the field? once in my life. The Big Red Marching Band thanks you for your support through the years. They look forward to seeing you at the next home football game on September 10th. The students would also like to thank, at this time, all the parents that helped make band camp a wonderful week.
And welcome back to the second half action. Memorial Stadium here in Port Huron, Michigan. Of course, Derek Work, the Big D. And again, CPHS Channel 6. Very exciting first half. A couple quick observations here for you as far as I'm concerned. One, it took the Big Reds a while to click offensively in that first quarter. Right from the get-go, they looked kind of confused, kind of weren't used to what was going on. Some late instructions from Coach Mullins to Justin Black, and they really couldn't get anything going in the early stages. Obviously, the one turnover put Cousino at the 10, and they scored on it. And certainly, it got better as the half went on, and that's the main thing. But again, getting back to the breaks, Cousino got every one of them. Their 2 scores, one, a 10-yard line fumble recovery, basically. They scored on the turnover there, the touchdown. And the fumble right in the hands, 30 yards later, it's another touchdown. So basically, how about some luck for the Big Reds? I mean, if it wasn't for bad luck, you'd have none at all. I understand that, but everything has gone Cousino's way, and usually that doesn't happen at Memorial Stadium as far as the Big Reds are concerned. Will that continue? Will they get some good luck? We'll see. Second half now. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. On the bounce, they bobble it already. But they jumped on it at least to the 22-yard line. 21, unsure of it, King Thomason, and he let that one roll, and they downed it, and that's the main thing. So out trots the Black Attack offense again, and we'll see what they can do. 1 touchdown in that game, or in this game, that's about been it, really. And it was a hard-nosed, a hard-earned drive, too. They really earned it. A great catch by Chapman, setting up a scamper by Black to the outside where he hit, I think it was it Smolik over the middle? Robotham, I think, got it. And Black's had a strong day so far at avoiding the pass rush mainly and hitting some passes where he had to. Of course, that Cousino defense has clearly adjusted as the game's gone on. First play, first drive of second half for the Big Reds. Low snap, kept by Black, all kinds of daylight. 15, close to 20, and a first down, hands down to the 40. Well, he can run, and he can pass, and when you can do both, that's what it's all about nowadays in football. I said it earlier in the game, and still remains true, and he's a great young talent, and he can do both. And to think, as you watch Seven make plays like that last one, he's coming back for a senior season next year. Boy, as a Big Red fan, that's got to sound good for you. It really does. From the 40, first and 10. Black again, the simple handoff. Trips, falls, Therese Watkins. Might have lost a yard. Looks more like 2, and that'll bring up second down. This is what I was talking about there in the first half. Not much as far as the run goes for the Big Reds in that first half, and it kind of makes you wonder, as we see each run being a struggle, if this will continue, or will they work on it all year long to try and get back on track in that department. Again, guys like Taddy don't grow on trees. Very fortunate they had those kind of players in the past, but second down 11 from the 39. They lost 1 on the first down carry. Black, shotgun look again, as we've been accustomed to, over the middle, and great adjustment by 10, Mark Chapman that time, and a first down. You know what I like about that play right there is he made sure of the catch. He did whatever he could to make sure of that. And that's a couple receptions for him today, this Mark Chapman, and I'll tell you something, he looks very strong. Not one of the names I read off earlier as a threat, but he looks like he's developing himself already in game 1 as a go-to guy. Certainly I mentioned the other Chapman, number 6. First and 10 from the 49 nonetheless, just about midfield here. Play fake this time, Black again, straight up the middle again, got all kinds of yards again. Look out, here goes Justin Black. 15, 10, up 5, dives in end zone, touchdown, Big Reds. But hold your horses, we have a flag. A whole lot of flags, actually. And Coach Mullins is furious down here. There you see, he's walking right out there. He thinks for sure it's called on the Big Reds. Well, he's down there screaming at Dominic Schultz, and I think he knows it's against him for some kind of a block in the back. And he's not afraid to tell you if you do wrong, but again, he's not afraid to tell you do right either. sensational coach and certainly a successful coach in his tenure here at PH. Let's see if we can pick this up. Black just split everything. Can't really tell there, really. Here you see Ben McCord, the last guy to hopefully get to him in their case, but that's a great athletic play by Black. Now, the only question is, where are they going to mark the football? If it's against the Big Reds, is it a spot of the foul, which would mean they still get some yardage on that, and it would still be a first down. Coach Mullins was just warned. He was out there yelling at the one official, and they said, get back there. So certainly you don't want any unsportsmanlike penalties on your sideline, but the ball hasn't even moved yet. They're still discussing it, so certainly a huge play in this football game. But even if that is a block in the back, I mean, Justin Black, goodness. They said at the beginning of the year last year, they have something in this kid. They really do, and it's obvious. You can see it. Well, they're saying touchdown, Big Reds. The personal foul came after the touchdown. I get it, okay. I don't think the crowd realizes it yet. They didn't really cheer that loud when they heard it, but referee's still sorting it out. This is going to be a tie football game by the looks of things. 13-13. So the Big Reds are going to be penalized on the kickoff is what's going to happen here. So they've tied the football game. That's the big thing. And the man in charge, the Black attack. Huge scamper. What was that from? About 41 yards out? At least. Just took off. Basically threaded the needle with that run. Found a little hole and made the most of it. And he's going to hold now for the extra point for Donald Rock. It's a tie game now. This extra point would give them the lead. So very important. Snap is high. Black gets it down. It's up. It's through. It's good. So the Big Reds did what they wanted to do. Drive number one. 10:01 left to go in the third quarter of play. 14-13. There you see it. Home team back in front. Derek Work, the Big D. CPHS Channel 6. There you see it again. Just basically split right through the line. And again, once you go through the line like that, it comes down to a couple things. One, are the linebackers past the line into the offensive backfield? How many of them have you already beaten by getting past the line? And then it's a matter of outrunning the secondary who were nowhere near him. McCord came back and almost got to him, but too little, too late. Well, we have this break in the action tonight. Time to thank some Channel 6 employees, as I do every week. The camera people tonight, as we do have a few women on there. Emily Desmond, Cecilia Gallio, Joshua Creedler, and Sean, the Big Ox, went. Slow-mo cam, Bloodhound, Chris Arell. Slow-mo director is the big fella in the truck, EJ Shea. Graphics, the shoeless one, Chad Schuler. And the Green Hornet down there, the production supervisor. And man in charge, Ed Sinek. There you go. The crew tonight for CPHS Channel 6. And of course, Derek Work, Big D. In the captain's chair again for another 9-week season. Hopefully 10. I don't like to always say 9 and jinx them, but Big Reds back in this one now. They have the lead again. 14-13. They're up 1. Kicking off again. Let's get nasty again. This is a shallow kickoff. They come up to field it at the 40. Shakes one tackler nicely. Gets to midfield. And then thrown out of bounds hard by 10, Mark Chapman. 28 on the kick return, Israel Hicks. So it's excellent field position to start for the Patriots, who that was the last thing you wanted, really. Them to come out. Coach Mullins yelling at his team, let's go, trying to motivate. But he's got to be happy. He's talking to Mark Chapman down there. He's got to be happy with the way he's played tonight. Certainly 10 has looked very good for the Big Reds. Let's see if the defense can answer now. 1st and 10 from the 49. Immediate give. Tackled right at the line. He dove forward, got 2, and it's 2nd and 8. The one good thing about saying that Cousino got all the luck in that first quarter, and let's face it, they did. They really did. Heck, it led to both their touchdowns. You can say, well, if they're getting all the bad luck or the good luck now, you got to think the sides will change. I mean, they can't get much more, can they? That's one positive about it. 2nd down and 8 from the 48. To pass again, no pass rush. He's got all day. Airing it out, caught. 1st down, Ben McCord. Mr. Ball State, as I've been calling him tonight. He's verbally committed to Ball State for next season. Of course, the MAC of the NCAA. And there's the Bloodhound. It amazes me how close they look right into that viewing finder, or whatever you call them things. They barely take their head out of there. Heck, the one dude earlier looked like his face was glued to it. Well, that's why they pay them, to have their faces glued to the cam, so there you go. 1st and 10 from the 39. Immediate give again. He's just tripped up and then falls forward, got half the distance, brings up 2nd and 5. That, I believe, is 6 again, Max Amayi. Again, the Big Reds are coached, of course, by Ryan Mullins. Had lots of success thus far in his career. Assistants, Kevin Goulding, Dan Perkins, and Dave Taddy. Sean Eagle, Ryan Murphy, Ken Simmelsberger. There's the Ox, getting way too close for his own good. Back up, Ox, thank you. No, back up. He brushes with Colgate, not Crest, if you're wondering, and I don't know why you would be. Back to pass again. Now instead he keeps it. McGuire thought about a round. Now he goes upfield and got close to the sticks. And I think he's got the 1st down yet again. While Warren Cousino clearly wore down the Big Red defense on their final drive of that quarter. Of the 2nd quarter, of course, the end of the 1st half I'm referring to. And it doesn't really look like they've got their win back. Or at least not yet. But that was quite the drive there by Cousino. They ate up a lot of clock late in that 1st half. From the 28, 1st and 10, 7:40 to go now in the 3rd. Almost a bobbled handoff. But 5 takes it upfield and got maybe 5 or 6 more. Ryan Kriska on the carry. Certainly a great night for football here at Memorial Stadium. You can't ask for anything more. Sunset going on. Not many clouds at all. A hot day and just great. Football temperatures now too. Not too hot, not too cold. Just the way I like it. 2nd and 3 from the 22 now. Man in motion again. The fake pitch. McGuire to the outside. Got all day again. Complete over the middle, man wide open to the 5, dives to the 2. That was 18, Corey Denai, and pretty easy play, really. On these quarterback rollouts, there are men wide open. So another very impressive drive for the Patriots here. And why wouldn't it be? They started at midfield on it due to a bit of a squib kick from the Big Reds, as Donald Rock didn't kick that ball, by the way. It looked like it was 15, Brandon Huntoon. 1st down, not going to get in, but closer. They want the touchdown, but I don't think they're in. No, 2nd down and goal. Probably from about the half. So it seems like just as fast as the Big Reds took the lead, they're going to lose the lead. So 2nd down and goal, you get an indication there. That ball has almost crossed the line on its own. It's that close down there, so it's likely a QB sneak or just a simple handoff. They're lining up wideouts, but no need for that. QB sneak, it's going to be good. Yep. Touchdown, Warren Cousino. Nothing fancy about it. Drew McGuire, number 2 in for the QB sneak. And I think they're thinking about going for 2 here because coaches aren't usually this vocal when they simply want an extra point. There's a couple drummers, members of the percussion section, going nuts. Well, the other band members simply sitting there and don't want to move a muscle. Those drummers are going crazy. Yeah. It looks like they're going to go for it and try and go up 2 here. This is the kind of game, it's everything I thought it would be, because I knew going in that a team favored to win the white is going to be strong competition for the Big Reds. First and goal from the 3 now. McGuire. They've lined up wide here. 5 wide, in fact. Now they send the man in motion. McGuire back to pass from shotgun, airing it outside. Caught. But we have a flag first, and we'll see. The 2-point conversion was good, but a flag is on the field. That's an illegal shift offense. Yep. So it was a simple 2-point conversion. Now we'll back them up. And now we'll see if they just elect to try and kick it through and get the extra point anyway. We'll see. Obviously, being up 6 is better than being up 5. 19-14 currently. 5:56 ticks to go in the 3rd. Channel 6, CPHS, the Port Huron Area School District television station. Well, they're going for it again here. Obviously, they got to get 8 now. Immediate pass. Broken up from the outside. Chapman from over the back. And it's a good play. Yep. Good and clean. That's a good job there. And one reason that's a good job, or one other reason that's good coverage, is because he had to go over the top to do it, around the back. And that is not always easy to do, you know, without a pass interference call. So that's a good job. I'm not so sure, knowing that I had to go back 5 or 6 more yards, whatever it was. They said second, I think it was 8 yards they said that he had to get that conversion good. So I don't know if I wouldn't have just kicked the extra point anyway, really. Because again, 6 is a lot different than 5. I mean, 6 is 2 field goals. Now you get 2 field goals, you take the lead. So minimal damage as it turns out. And the Big Reds, they've got to answer right back, because the crowd is still very much in this game. Band is very much in it. But again, the Big Reds really paid there for their squib kick that gave Cousino great field position. Cousino to kick off again. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. A squib kick of their own. Taken on the bounce, and he'll just fall down on it. A smart play. You have got to be sure in that area of the field. So the field position not terrible this time for the Big Reds. They come out 1st and 10. And now from the 29. Gives you a nice idea again. Whole lot of people here tonight. I should also mention senior night in the band. And they had those introductions at the half with their parents and all the rest. So congratulations to all of them. The Big Red Marching Machine. From the 29, 1st and 10. Black, the keeper again, but he's going to be down this time. If you don't have a running game with your tailbacks, obviously it's nice to have one with your quarterback, but sooner or later it's got to come to an end. Defenses will adjust. Best thing is, though, this is a kid that can beat you both ways. Looks like it was a sack. He lost about a half yard here, so second down, they call it 10 still. Looks like a long 10 from there. Black reading his wristband. Last minute instructions. 3 receivers bunched together on this side, 1 far side and 1 back. It's a fake. Chapman, he's going to air this one out. The halfback toss, and overthrows a wide open Winslow Chapman. 6 Jarrett to 3 Winslow, and there was no defense over there to speak of. Well, he catches that ball, he probably goes down anyway because of his body position when he tried to catch it, but it just didn't work. The play call worked, though. Look at this. They all bought it. You can tell he was going to throw it, too, and it just out of their reach. Well, that's tough. As a wideout going after a ball, similar in baseball, a center fielder going back on a hard ball, you don't want to drift back like that. Easier said than done, obviously. You want to run to it, but that's why that catch would have been tough. 3rd and 10. It's a screen look, but they've got this covered from the get-go. Flag on the play, and hopefully for the Big Reds, they get a break here. So it looks like they've adjusted to the short stuff. It's going to be an illegal procedure penalty waived off, and that's going to bring a 4th down. So Big Reds are going to have to punt again. Even though they are discussing what they're going to do here. Al Rock's coming back out again. Black is frustrated going off, and looked like Warren Cousino really picked up their defensive pressure on that series, and again, they cut down on the short stuff. Standing about the 6 to punt this one off. Chapman barely gets it off. It's a good one, though. Fair catch called, 47. 5, Ryan Kriska on the fair catch. This is the perfect time right now for a Big Red turnover. What do you say? They had 2 chances earlier. Both Troy Cross fumbles, the big fullback for Warren Cousino, but they got it back. Both times, once, actually led to a 30-plus yard scamper for a touchdown. So this Big Red defense is going to have to come back and earn this game, though. They're the unit that's got to win it. Counter look and wide open. All day to run. Cuts inside 25-20, down to the 15 and 14. Ryan Kriska. And obviously the right play call, because once he got left side and through the line, nothing. Nothing there. So this game has really changed now. Wow, there's a good block on Smolik. They took him right out of the play, and then it's free will to the end zone, or in this case to the 15. Cousino moving the ball at will now. The handoff straight up and down to the 7. 6 the carry, Maximei again. And they're bigger up front, and it clearly shows, and we discussed this all day long, but when you have guys, like look at 75 there. I think he's the one that they listed 6'7". That's that Donage or Dene, if you want to call him a right tackle, I guess. But these guys are big. And they're just starting to push the defensive line of the Big Reds. You can tell that by the domination on the running. 2nd down and 5 from the 8. They can get a 1st down without scoring. McGuire caught. Touchdown. Cousino. Ryan Kriska caught it. Kriska, a big, big part of that drive. So now it's getting serious for the Big Reds. Currently down 11. And no big secret. We knew coming in how good this team is. Mac White, one of the top teams in the Mac White, if not the best. So, not a shock. Extra point try, up and barely through. So it's a 26-12 game now. 3:36 left in the 3rd. Certainly not what the Big Reds wanted after coming out in this half and taking the lead. Cousino doing whatever they want right now offensively, and Seems to me that wear and tear is starting to get to the Big Red D. One of the more difficult games schedule-wise that the Big Reds have had, really in years. There's one of the camera girls there. She looks happy anyway. Down there all alone by the fence. I think that's Emily Desmet down there. Every now and then they throw some new crew in there, and every now and then, as bad as I am with names, I don't even know them, but there you go. Well, the cheerleaders, there you see them trying to keep the fans into it as best they can. So important right now that the Black Attack comes out and answers the call again, because this game now is really in danger of a full momentum switch and in danger of being out of reach, really. 3:36 left. There's a whole quarter, but it'd be nice to finally get some luck on the Big Red side. Much of this game has been owned by Cousino because they've gotten some breaks and some bounces. Here they go again. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. Again, not much of a kickoff, right in the hands of the Big Reds this time. 21, King Thomason is rocked, and they may call unsportsmanlike here. He got to about the 33. Oh, it's a face mask. Against Cousino, they say it's a 5-yarder, so the Big Reds will take that. Yeah, you can see him grab the head there, making the tackle with the helmet. He did take his hand off of it. That right there is probably all that kept it from becoming a 15-yard major. They have to answer here. They've got to get something going again here now. 26-14, the lead is 12, Warren Cousino. Let's see what Black can do. To pass again. The pressure is just too much. Nobody picked up the right side, and Black adjusted to it, and when he avoided him, there was another guy right there at center that got him, took him down. Again, the size up front, and not just up front, but when it comes from the outside too, that's tough. Loss of just one on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 11 when play resumes. Ball mark 34, just under 3 to go in the third. Again, 26-14. Warren Cousino. Black off the low snap. They come with the blitz again. Ball is dropped. Winslow Chapman. And it's really a shame on that big, long halfback toss that they had there earlier in the third quarter to Winslow Chapman. Now that one couldn't have been caught because that was a lot of yards, and that would have been a big momentum swing, perhaps. Momentum swings at this stadium aren't like other stadiums either. The crowd can really get behind you, and it can get loud here. It's not your typical high school stadium, and certainly known all over the place as one of the best in Michigan for high school athletics. 3rd and 11 from the 34. Screen look again, but he's got a lot to go. Cuts upfield as hard as he can, got only back to the original line of scrimmage, or maybe a bit better, and it's 4th down. It's a smart idea on the play call, because if they're bringing the rush, the screen often combats that, but they are just, Cousino's playing some deadly defense right now. Suffocating, really. Well, the punt now. Standing at the 25. Flags all over the place again. Decent punt, fielded 28, downed right there. We'll see what the flag is here in just a moment. Well, again, don't forget about BigDSports.info. I didn't announce it last night, but I'm going to announce it tonight. Again, I lag on it, I slack on it, but I like to write up about these games, so I'm going to it. BigDSports.info. started out as a sports site, and now primarily I just write about these teams, what I see, what I liked, what I didn't. As honest as I can be. There you go. A forum page, a blog, if you will, and some of the players even write in sometimes. That's nice to see. Last couple of years that's happened. Always like hearing from the players and the talent. Well, here we go, 1st and 10 for the 29. 2:01 left in the third, as you can see. And man, do they ever need some kind of a turnover here. This defense has been really shellacked for much of this third. Well, that could be it right there. Snap dropped. I think they jumped on it, so they got it back. Well, you knew eventually something was going to happen along these lines. Because the one failure of Cousino today, they haven't held on to the football very well. And the twice and now 3 times they've got the ball back all 3 times. They fumbled 3 times, but they haven't been lost. Maybe the biggest key stat of the game, considering the points off turnovers in this game, or turnover possibilities. Back to pass, great pressure, Big Reds, but it's caught in the flat and taken upfield hard to the 38, I believe, gain of 8. 23 got him. Julian Brown as well, 13, LaForge again. Final minute of the third quarter. That gives you an idea, though, looking at the sideline, the kind of size they have. Some of them are just monsters over there. 3rd down and 1 from the 38. Big play. Give to Cross. Rumbles through again for the first. And for a fullback, I mentioned this earlier. In that first half, he was used a lot, especially late in the first half when they had that big clock-consuming drive. It was all this big fullback, Troy Cross. Despite the fact that he's fumbled twice, really, he continues to rack up the short yardage when they need it the most because, again, big body and hard to stop because he's so strong. From the 42, 1st and 10. Option pitch. Big Reds get there late, make the tackle after a gain of 2, and pushed out of bounds. Alex Smolik over there among tacklers. There's the Big Red fans, or at least the student section, if you will, and many of them in headbands. Maybe that's the new trend this season. They've got their work cut out for them, that's for sure. It's not impossible, obviously. A whole nother quarter to play, only down 2 possessions, but this will be the final play of the third quarter here now. There's that counter look again, and a big hole yet again. Stephen Anoni. Oh, that's that exact same play that set up the last touchdown, but we have a flag thrown at the 50, and we'll see what this is all about. Big Reds can hope. They're being beat on that counter, or end around, if you will, and through the guard and tackle on the left side is where the damage is being done. And that's not the first time it's been run or successful tonight. Well, it's a personal foul against Cousino. So it's basically going to be 15 yards from where the ball's marked right now. So that, if anything, helps. Looks like it'll still be a first down, mind you, but ball at the 48. Well, because of the penalty and the clock stoppages, 11 seconds is still on the clock here. I don't think they're going to run another play, though. They don't have to run another play, I don't think. Now they run the clock. This is going to be it. Third quarter from Memorial Stadium. Big Reds came out, took the lead, but since then, 13 unanswered points for Warren Cousino, who lead after 3, 26-14 from Memorial Stadium. Derek Warwick, the Big D. CPHS Channel 6, back with the fourth in a minute. Hopefully the Big Reds can get back in this. Memorial Stadium. Derek Wark, the Big D, and CPHS Channel 6. Again, 26-14 the score. Warren Cousino up 12 after 3 complete. Big Reds came out, got the job done early in the third. Made it 14-13 very quickly. The crowd was thinking, well, maybe this is still our game. But Cousino came out in that third quarter and really just did what they wanted offensively, moved the football, got 14 unanswered. Just like that. Check that, 13 unanswered, 26-14 now. And they've got the ball again. Time of possession clearly favoring Cousino. Big gain here, got 12, still bouncing off tackle, still going, 15, dives forward, 11. Israel Hicks, I believe, was the ball carrier. That might have been actually, check that, Troy Cross. But it's clear this defensive unit's getting tired now. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. They've been out there a great deal ever since late second quarter and now from then on. Once the ball control, though, of this Mac White power, Warren Cousino took over. Believe me, it was noticeable. Fake pitch this time. McGuire. Oh, he's going to take the sack. That is an absolute great effort that time by the Big Reds. I believe is it 27? 37 maybe. Alan Rapson, there you go. Great job, Alan. Stopping him dead in his tracks. He had a hold of that jersey, and boy, he was not letting go. Look at that, he's got it. Still has it. That was his jersey, and nobody was taking that away from him. No way. Not till he got the sack. They lose a whopping 7 on that play. That's a pretty big play for this defense, considering there hasn't been a lot of life lately. 2nd and 17. McGuire to pass again to the outside. That's definitely holding. No call. They go the other side of the field out of bounds. It looked like it was close. Upper left side. There's been a couple times tonight where that hasn't been called, and it makes you wonder. That's a nice side flip that I can't do or even want to attempt to do. Thank you very much. 3rd down and 9 from the 19. Huge play for the defense. If they want any chance of getting back in this game, huge play. Not much of a pass rush this time, airing it out. That's a good open field tackle, but they don't stay with them. End zone. Not quite. Down at the 1. That was almost a really good play by, I believe, 6, Jared Chapman, who had a hold of the jersey, but he could not hold on like his teammate Rolipson a moment ago. So 1st and goal again for Warren Cousino, and they've just wore him down, really. 1st and goal from the 3. McGuire, not much. A little bit of a spin move before he dove through to get an extra half yard, but couldn't. Might have got 1 if he's lucky, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Especially if they score here, you're not going to see anything special offensively from here on out for this Warren Cousino team. Just up the middle running. All that kind of stuff that we just saw from McGuire. 2nd and goal from the 1. They say he got 2 there. I don't know how. Bust through his cross. Touchdown. Warren Cousino. I don't want to say it's all she wrote, but it's close now. They made a lot of adjustments at the half. When you have a team that's this big, You make the adjustments around the size and the speed. You really do. And you certainly cannot be pushed around up front when you have meat eaters that big. Extra point try. Almost blocked, but it goes through. 32-14, and I don't know if a light went on inside their heads or just what happened, but ever since the Big Reds took the lead early in the third quarter at 14-13, 20 unanswered points for Warren Cousino. That is why, to get back to it, all of those turnovers that happened, or fumbles that could have been jumped on by the Big Reds that weren't, that Cousino got back, and even scored on some of them as mentioned. If they jump on them instead, the Big Reds, it's a whole different ballgame. But it wasn't meant to be. As far as opponents go, though, for a Week 1 game, often in the past they're scheduled with a Mac Red talent. This is a Mac White team that basically could be in the Mac Red perhaps this year. They're that good. But seldom do you get a team this good on your opening night, so Big Reds have some work to do, and they know it. Here's the kickoff again. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. From the 25, somebody's got to jump on that ball. And then they try to cut upfield late. 23, Julian Brown, not much. And because of that little hesitation, because you're not sure who's going to get it, from the same respect, because of that, you're not even sure who's going to block. And you lose yardage because of it. It's kind of one of those, you got it, no, I got it, well, somebody take it kind of things. So Big Red's still going to be in their patented four-wide look. From the 27, 1st and 10. A 33-14 lead, Warren Cousino. 9:49 ticks to go in the fourth. Justin Black on the low snap, airing it out over the middle, picked off. Immediately at the 40, now quickly up to the 20 and 15. Still not down at the 14. 18, Corey Dene stepped right in front of that one. What do? A team this good gets that many early breaks and then dominates the second half. That's one Black would love to have back, obviously. But it's tough, too, when you've got a linebacker defending that pass who's 6'5" in height. I mean, 6'5", 200. In order to hit your wide out there, because 6'5", 200's in front of him, you've got to air it above 6'5". From the 15, it's 1st and 10, up, then down. 13, Mike LaForge, the tackle. False start anyway. Against the Patriots. So if you've just joined us, much of the game was close. And 14-13, even the Big Reds had the lead at the beginning of the third quarter. Since then, it's been all Patriots and really moving the ball convincingly on the PhD from half the third quarter on in this one. 9:34 the time left in the fourth. Here's the give. Again, left side again. And it'll bring up second down. Got close to 10. Maybe 8, 9. And it brings up second down. Well, the band played on. That's one good thing. They continue to play here, the PH Marching Band. Great halftime performance, playing some classic Stevie Wonder. How about that? Some Superstitions. I like that one. Who doesn't, right? Pitch out, all kinds of daylight to the outside. Now he tries to cut it. and doesn't get enough. That'll bring up third down. Schultz, LaForge, 9 is Schultz, 13 LaForge, Smolik over there as well. There's the Big Red Band. Looks like they're moving around to try and get other sections of the crowd going. Just a fake, then an option pitch. And then it's a matter of cutting down the angle. He decided he didn't like the angle and tried to cut it upfield and really didn't get much. Pretty good job there defending that one. From the 8, 3rd and 2. To pass again, that one dropped. Well, the way that Cross has been running the ball in this game, I'm not sure you don't just hand it off to him here. Unless they really do want to try a field goal, get the kicker some work. It looks like he's got the tee out, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So from 25 out, this should be a cakewalk for this guy who had 35 right through no problem earlier. And that's going to be wide right, so yeah, easy for me to say. One positive there, the Big Reds did hold. This big Warren team really making the Big Reds frustrated. 8:07 to go in the fourth. There you see 33-14, a 19-point lead. Again, the Big D with you. Being big is a state of mind, baby. Tonight, Big Reds, not as big as they'd like to be, but they'll be okay. It's a successful program. It's a successful head coach. And my first thought as I look at those trombonists is, what if one of them doesn't duck? Do you wear it off the head and keep playing? Oh, that's funny. That's what you call faith in your band members. Otherwise, you're wearing it right off the head. Timeout in the field, by the way. So certainly players of this game, starting with the Patriots, going down the list here as quick as I can. Drew McGuire, the quarterback, has had a good day. Ryan Kriska, you'd have to say, has looked very good at times. I'd give it to Troy Cross if it wasn't for the fumbles. But what the heck, why not? I mean, that whole drive, that big drive that I thought changed the face of this game in the second quarter, was mostly Troy Cross, the big fullback for Warren Cousino. When the Big Reds needed a stop, time after time, he just got the yardage necessary for Cousino to continue their drives, so why not give it to him? Certainly defensively, you'd have to say Corey Dene for them. Pass outside, caught Winslow. Chapman gets 9, gets close to 10. That's better, even if they are playing off him. Get some of these wideouts, some catches, get them used to the flow again. So Corey Dene and Troy Cross, my two players of the game for Warren. For PH defensively, you could say a lot of guys. I may actually have to think about this one. Black was great in the second quarter, and he had the great touchdown run as well in the third, so you got to give it to Black, and it's good to see him back and healthy again. Defensively, I'll get to that one in a moment. Black, the QB keeper, keeps on a rumbling, stumbling, and they're going to get a face mask on top of that by the looks of things. You know who else looked really good today too, and I mentioned this earlier, number 10, Mark Chapman. He could be kind of like an unsung hero kind of thing in the game tonight because he was that good. Really defensively, anybody. I'm having trouble picking it. How about the whole linebacking core? There you go. And they were on the field for a great deal of this game. So as mentioned, they should be a tired group, and rightfully so. They've earned it. From the 43, 1st and 10. Warren in more of a drop-back prevent kind of a mode now. Black to pass, caught. Alex Smolik with the reception. I believe his first of the day, or maybe second. But this is, again, they're in the mode. They're in the prevent defense mode, and they're letting them have this over the middle stuff. And it's the right move. By this time, you want the clock to run. You got a 19-point lead. You can even give up a touchdown here. It doesn't kill you because the clock is ticking, so it doesn't matter. And it lets you work on that kind of a defensive setup in the first place, even though they're in a 3-4 look now, as you see on the screen. 6:40 left in the fourth. Very calm from being down 19 is Justin Black. Low snap to pass again. And almost a nice catch. Number 8, Tyler Robotham, went up to try and catch it. Couldn't quite get it. They say at the pro level, not necessarily at this level, but at the pro level, anything in your hands, you've got to catch. That one might have been a bit too high. It was a good effort, though, and a nice attempt by Robotham, but not quite. From the 46, 2nd and 10. 6:28 ticks to go in the fourth. It looks like they've audibled this play. Black looking to his wristband and calling last-minute instructions. He's looked exceptional at some points of this game. A lot of credit's got to go to that Patriot D, though. Black to the outside. Caught. Winslow Chapman escapes tackle. Gets to the 20, to the 18. There's some balls tonight that I know for a fact number 3 would like to have back. But mark my words, in 5 weeks, he will catch every one of those. Here's the replay again. Nice pass. They tried to maybe come up and pick that off, but too little too late. And Chapman escaped the tackle of the defensive backs because of it. Final 6 minutes of the fourth. 1st and 10. Ball marked 24-yard line. Black, the other side this time, to pass. Almost caught Smolik, in and out of his hands. And there's been a few drop balls tonight. More than a few for the Big Reds. But basically the big story of the game, to summarize it, was the Warren Cousino defense in the second half. After the touchdown by the Big Reds, they have almost formed a wall out there. Very, very difficult. And difficult as well when you know what the Big Reds are going to do. They're going to pass the football. When you completely take the run out of the game, very tough. From the 24, 2nd and 10 now. Black again, shotgun. Gets pressure this time, airing it out. Smolik tries to catch it in the end zone. They say incomplete as Smolik dropped it. Well, he had coverage this time. There were 2 guys waiting. As mentioned earlier, I believe last year Alex Smolik was mostly the tight end on this team. They've moved him to the outside this year in his senior season to see what he can do out there, and really not a bad pass, but it's a hard area to make that complete when you have, again, the defensive help. There you see Black. There'll be better days. I think he's improved as a quarterback today, certainly. 3rd down and 10 for the 24. Screen this time. Not set up the greatest, but a good side block afterward. Schultz upfield, and he's in. Touchdown, Big Reds. Very, very close to a block in the back, but I think they got him from the side at about the 15. A great effort, though, by 9, who was not going to be denied there. He wanted that one. So win or lose, at least Dominic Schultz can say I had a touchdown on a screen look. And as you can see, the student section loves it. Right at the 5:36 mark. Extra point is way, way low and left, but it looks like there's a flag on the play, so we'll wait and see. They're pointing to the Big Red side, so that's likely to be declined. And they wave it off, so the lead now is 33-20. And we'll see, just out of curiosity, if Coach Mullins wants to work on it or what. Well, here's the replay first and foremost. Look at Schultz take that upfield. And when you get by the 6'5" Corey Denai, you're doing a great job. And look at Schultz there, loving it. Well, I think they're discussing right now what kind of kickoff they want to do here. Down 13, eventually they'd have to do it anyway, but do they want this Cousino offense, who have really done all they wanted on offense in the second half tonight? Do they want them to get the ball back, or do they want to have the chance at maybe getting it back with the squib kick? We'll see. Well, I tell you, for a small section and an away crowd, there you see the student section for Warren Cousino, and really, they're vocal, they're loud, and they have fun all game long. And considering they come from a great distance away, well, there you go. I mean, that's great representation by the student section and all the rest. Lots of parents actually are over there on the other side. But good to see Dominic Schultz there get in with the TD. CPHS Channel 6, the Port Huron Area School District television station, 984-6621, and of course, the Big D. In the booth with you for the final, or likely it is to be the final, 5:36 of this one. Doesn't look very strong for the Huskies to go 1-0 here, but you never know, stranger things have happened. In a third quarter owned by Warren. Really the telltale sign. Let's get nasty, Port Huron, the kickoff. That actually was one of those kickoffs right there. That's a real decision call. Five decided to catch it and down it before he went out of bounds. That's tough to decide because obviously the ball goes far enough where the kicking team can get it right back. If it goes out of bounds, you're looking at the field position on the 40, the penalized. So, of course, when you're up, 13, it doesn't really matter with 5.5 to go. But so that was kind of interesting what almost happened there, and a good heads-up play by Ryan Kriska to be sure he downed it. There you see the crowd. Most of them have not left. Still believe in their Big Reds, but this D's got to get some stops. It's that simple. And did they jump? Well, they're saying false start offense, so that's a good start for them. I don't know if all the defensive line moving around there might have thrown off the O-line, but looks like it might have, and that'll bring up second down. Again, it was a good measuring stick game tonight. A white division team, and one of the top ones in the white. Let's be realistic here. And how often have we said in the last 10 years, Huskies 1-0, Big Reds 0-1? Not very often. First and 15 from the 29. That handoff was lucky it was even made in the first place. Back to the original line of scrimmage for a second down player. Maybe before it, but we have a flag first, and it looks like it might be offside again. So the fourth quarter taking its time ticking down at 5.5 to go now. Again, a great night for Memorial Stadium. Big shout out to the big fella in the truck down there too for getting me a couple slices of pizza and a pop earlier. They don't usually do that. I guess maybe they think that I've ate too much over the years. I don't need it. EJ got me what he called Happy's Pizza. Well, I guess your next question is, did it make me happy? Oh yeah, delirious. There you go. Thanks, big guy. Appreciative. 1st and 20 from the 24. Pitch back, very sloppily done, and they're going to be wrecked by the big red D. LaForge among them. Whew, pumped up down there, 79 Richard Drummond. I like when you see the big meat eaters get up and get all crazy like that because, let's face it, their name isn't mentioned that often. The big guys up front never get enough credit. That's a great swim move that he pulled there, by the way. And then it's open hunting season, boom. So 2nd down and what looks to be an eternity now. 2nd and 22 from the 18. That was almost offside again. They get through though, and all kinds of yards close to the 1st down. The effort by Maximeye there, number 6, was outstanding because he was twisted around and still kept the feet moving, still pushed backwards, and he got the 1st down. That's frustrating because after the penalties, you think, we got him. We've got him in a 2nd and 22 hole. And then they bust through with a simple running play. Four minutes, 20 seconds here. Left to go in the 4th. Again, the score 33-20. Big Reds trailing. And they've got to get something going defensively real quick if they want any chance. The handoff again, nothing. And I don't know where this all of a sudden pass rush or penetration for the Big Reds is coming from, as Alex Smolik made the tackle there, a great job. But they're basically in that offensive backfield before the handoff is made now. I mean, there's been some recent handoffs. I don't know how they've got them off at all. Three and a half left in the 4th now. 3 wide look. They send one in motion and one back. Play fake. They all bought it. QB keeper up the middle and a 1st down again to the 38, Drew McGuire. 14, Taj King. 23, Brown as well, the tacklers for the Big Reds. But not before yet another 1st down. Interesting enough, if they do get the ball back, Big Reds would have all 3 timeouts left. So I would say the only realistic chance still left in this game is the turnover I've been talking about all day that they need. You never know with the way they've had the pass rush lately here, so we'll see. 1st and 10 from the 38, under 3 to go now. Handoff outside. Trying desperately to strip him. He refuses to go down. Still on his feet. Oh my goodness. Cuts back. He could be gone here. Oh, what an effort. Flag on the play too. Inside the 10 to the 7. That, folks, is as good a power run as you will see. That's one of those I'm not giving up kind of things there. 5, Ryan Kriska. Wow. And I say, wow, on the opposite side of the field, you can say, where is the tackling? That's a penalty against them anyway, Warren Cousino, so that's going to come back at least partially, but too bad we can't get a replay, though, of that tremendous run. And you can, if we ever do get it, you can count the number of missed tackles. I would say at least 5. Great effort. It really is. And maybe holding back the efforts because they're down by a ton. Look at this guy work. Look at this. shaking tackles with his feet. Look, shake and bake move there. Wow, that's a great run. It really is. Here's that same look again, but this time they're not buying it. Fool me once, fool me twice. There's that same play. And Port Huron finally uses a timeout. And because of the fact that play, well, here's that look again, that run. Look at him avoid tackle. There were, I think, 3 missed tackles on that play. And then here's your 4th right there. 5. Well, actually, they made that tackle. So 4 missed tackles I counted. But the idea that end-to-end kind of run from the counter look, or if you will, between the left guard and the left tackle, it's basically because around the end, and he's inside the quarterback lane, so he hits that hole set by the guard and the tackle so quickly, they're making it possible if a linebacker's not inside the gap to fill it. And clearly they've had success on that play 3 or 4 times in this game with basically wide open field to work with. There, however, they adjusted to it. And LaForge, I said the linebacker filled the gap. LaForge adjusted. He got over there this time. Some defenses will adjust right away. Others, not so much. At this level, it varies, I think. NFL, they'll adjust immediately. They'll adjust in the first 5 seconds. The give, again, one of those straight up, straight down jobbies, number 6, Max Amei. And another timeout for the Big Reds here. I almost caught myself saying Huskies, the big Cardinal sin. But no, Big Reds timeout. 1 left. Pretty gloomy now, I would think, with 2:25 to go. There you see the clock. 13-point lead, and they have the ball. Really, because they've used their timeouts on this area of this drive, it's all up to this play right here, right now, if they want the ball back at all. Because they'll use their final timeout after this play here, and Cousino will definitely be running the football. I don't see any reason here for them to pass at all. So if the Big Red D can stop him, Justin Black will have one more chance at maybe the bomb or something along those lines. 3rd down and 5. Fumbled, snap, maybe. Big Reds actually might have jumped on that football. Now they're saying down. I don't really know how they can tell that because I sure can't. And there you go, the Big Reds call the timeout. So 4th down now. And they'll probably just run another play and run the clock down again. There's no point in kicking this ball. But they're very lucky that they got that ball back. I don't even know how they got that back by the looks of that replay. You know what? That's really been the story of the game. And it happened a couple of times in the first half of play. The new camera girl right there. Laughing, smiling at least. Some of the other guys, not necessarily frowning, but not as happy as she was. But again, that first half, the first quarter particularly, and the fumbles, and yet they recover them. And there's another fumble there that they recovered. But no fumbles lost, but 4 or 5 fumbles that they got back. So 4th down and 5. And the Big Reds are going to stop them, but the clock is going to tick now. Well, it's a turnover on downs, so the clock did stop. Okay, I got you. And the Big Reds take over. 2:13 to work with. Not a heck of a lot, though. Watch out for that big 6'5" linebacker slash pass defender, that Corey Denage. Earlier in the day, he stepped in front of a black pass. Low snap again. Caught Smolik to the outside. And he stays in bounds. That's only a gain of about 5. And Cousino will give you that all day. Now, with no timeouts left. They'll give you 20 yards all day now. Final 2 minutes. Black. Smolik again. Caught. He gets out of bounds this time. So that'll stop the clock. First down, Big Reds. So if nothing else, this time, a pad the stats moment, if you will, for Justin Black and Alex Smolik. Getting some more yardage, and nice to see Smolik getting involved. They listed him at the beginning of the game anyway as the big play receiver on this team. Again, moved over from tight end from a season ago. From the 32, 1st and 10. Laid pressure again. Black on the QB rollout at the 25. That's a good defensive play. Didn't really need to tackle him, but good play. And it was batted down. Well, there'll be better days for this Big Red team. They're not used to losing game number 1 of any season, especially at home, where this team really has owned the home field advantage the last couple of seasons. They've got some work to do, but as you can see, the talent is there. The trouble is today, they just played a good, strong, physical, big team. Black had to air it out quickly. Nothing you can do about that. Well, there's a prime example of what you do and what happens when you don't handle a snap cleanly because it's too low or what have you, and when the pass rush is coming immediately because you're forced to get rid of the football. Final minute 37. Big Red fans quiet. They're hoping for a miracle here, but they're going to have to go deep to get it. The yardage in chunks is not going to work without timeouts. Easier said than done against this D, too. Credit them as well, and credit Mike Powell, their head coach, for making adjustments at the half. Clearly they did. To pass again, Black stepping up in the pocket, throwing it over the middle, dropped again. Intended for Tyler Robotham, the junior. That's another problem that won't exactly put Coach Mullins to sleep come practice next week, are the drop balls. I get that it's week 1, pre-game jitters. Again, I said it earlier. Later on in the year, you catch those. Week 1, they got to get back into the flow again, and, well, again, they played a really good team this year, 2010, in week 1. 4th down and 10, low snap again, Black again, smoked, fumbled on the play. I hope Black's all right. Schultz jumps on the football, but it won't matter. Cousino has wrapped it up. So, Warren Cousino, it's safe to say, with no Big Red timeouts left in a minute 24, this is over with a 2-possession game. They're going to go to 1-0. The Big Reds are going to go to 0-1. But keep in mind, the big goal for the Big Reds every year is to win the MAC Blue. This, folks, is not a MAC Blue contest. It's one of those out-of-conference or out-of-division, same conference, obviously, games. And more of a measuring stick opportunity for them to see where they're at. As I said from the get-go, though, I knew coming in how good this Cousino team was. Big Reds played a great first half of football. And hats off to them for that. But I really believe those early breaks and the 4 or 5 fumbles that were recovered fumbles and not fumbles lost for Warren Cousino paved the way for them to have a strong 3rd and 4th quarter. Again, if Big Reds initially jump on those balls back in the 1st and 2nd quarters, it's a whole different ball game. But tonight just wasn't their night, you know. I said earlier, if it wasn't for bad luck, you wouldn't have any at all. Certainly the breaks went Cousino's way, and what's that line? You got to be lucky to be good. They are good. And tonight they were both good and lucky. Well, that's it. I don't think they need to stop the clock again. That's going to be it for the game. Final 19 seconds of this one, 33-20. Tough one for the Big Reds, but they'll get over it. Certainly they've got a ton of talent. Just got to focus now on the Mac Blue divisional games. That's going to do it from Memorial Stadium tonight. Visiting Warren Cousino proved they were all that and more. Final score here, Warren Cousino 33, your Port Huron High Big Reds 20. For the entire cast, as usual, of CPHS Channel 6, Derek Wark, the Big D, saying so long, everybody. Good luck to the Big Reds in Sterling Heights next week.